A young millionaire was rushing to an important meeting when, on a rainy day, he noticed a beggar holding a baby. Without hesitation, he handed her the keys to his home. Later, when he returned unannounced, the sight that greeted him left him in shock. On a busy afternoon in Boston, Adam walked through the grand hall of one of the nation's most prestigious architecture events. The luxurious setting created a stark contrast with the event's underlying purpose: fundraising for affordable housing projects. Behind the glamour and sophistication lay a sincere mission: turning architectural visions into homes for those in need. Many renowned architects, including Adam, had contributed designs to support the cause. For some attendees, the event served as another opportunity to flaunt their status. But Adam, celebrated for his exceptional talent, stood apart, not just through his work, but also through his quiet, introspective demeanor. Recently, whispers surrounded him, noting changes in his behavior. Having lost his young wife in a tragic accident and now caring for his ailing father, Adam's withdrawn manner reflected his journey through profound personal challenges. While some misread him as aloof, those who understood life's struggles saw his reserved nature as a form of resilience. During the event, Adam crossed paths with Lillian, a legendary architect renowned for her accomplishments. "Adam, it's always a pleasure to see you here," she said, her gaze warm yet piercing. "I've heard about the time you've been dedicating to caring for your father. It's admirable." Adam offered a polite smile and nodded, feeling slightly out of place amid the event's veneer of sophistication. Sensing his discomfort, Lillian remarked, "These gatherings can seem shallow at times, but they often surprise us. What brings you here tonight, Adam? It doesn't seem like it's just about networking." With a faint, wistful smile, Adam replied, "I'm here more out of duty than desire. My life hasn't been just about architecture. It's been shaped by deeper experiences, mainly the lessons I learned from my father." His voice softened as his thoughts drifted. "My father, despite facing so many hardships, always found ways to help others. He raised me on his own, sacrificing so much to give me a better future. His kindness and generosity were his greatest teachings." Lillian listened with quiet respect, her expression reflecting deep admiration. It's rare to meet someone who holds on to those values, especially someone as successful as you. Your father must be remarkable. "He is," Adam responded with pride. "He's always believed that a man's greatest wealth isn't in what he owns, but in what he gives. He taught me that." Their conversation resonated deeply with Lillian, who, despite her monumental career, carried a private sadness for the family she had never started. She admired Adam's grounded nature and the values he cherished. Later that evening, Adam returned home, a place that had become his sanctuary. He found his father, Mr. Robert, watching a late-night program. Despite his illness, Robert maintained a vibrant spirit and sharp mind. "How was the event, son?" his father asked, genuinely curious. "It went well," Adam replied, settling beside him. "Even though some people there acted as if they were gods because of their wealth, the event succeeded in raising funds. I even spoke with Lillian about how important our work is for society." After their conversation, Adam rose to prepare dinner. "I'll make something for us to eat. Do you have any preferences?" he asked. "Anything will do, son. Don't go to too much trouble," Robert replied with a grateful smile. Later, as Adam helped his father settle in for the night, he mentioned his plans for the following day. "Dad, I have to travel in the morning for a meeting about a new project. Everything will be arranged here, and Mrs. Martinez will check in on you." Robert, now comfortable in bed, looked at his son with tender eyes. "You're a good man, Adam. Go do what you need to do. I'm proud of you." Reflecting on his father's sacrifices, Adam felt a deep sense of responsibility. After his mother had left them, Robert had shouldered the immense task of raising him alone. Despite financial struggles, he prioritized Adam's education, believing it was the key to a brighter future. Every dollar he earned was invested in Adam's potential. Fueled by his father's unwavering dedication, Adam seized every opportunity to learn and grow, eventually becoming the celebrated architect he was today. A man shaped not just by his talent, but by the values of compassion, perseverance, and generosity instilled in him by his father. Even after achieving great success, Adam never forgot the struggles and sacrifices his father endured for him. He stayed by his father's side, caring for him with the same love and gratitude he had received in his childhood. The next morning, Adam woke up early, preparing for an important day. He dressed meticulously, choosing a sophisticated suit for a pivotal meeting in a nearby city. Before leaving, he called to confirm his plans. "Good morning, Mr. Connor. I'm on my way now and should be there shortly," Adam said confidently. As he stepped outside to head to his car, heavy rain began to pour. His driver, already familiar with Adam's routine, waited patiently. "Looks like the weather's going to make this a challenging drive, Mr. Adam," the driver remarked as Adam approached. The journey to the neighboring city was slow and chaotic due to the torrential rain. As the car inched forward through traffic, Adam gazed out the window, lost in thought about the meeting. Suddenly, a scene by the roadside caught his attention. A homeless woman holding a newborn baby, desperately shielding her child from the relentless rain. The image of their vulnerability and despair struck a deep chord in Adam's heart. Without hesitation, Adam told the driver, "Stop the car. I need to help that woman." The driver, knowing Adam's compassionate nature, cautioned, "But Mr. Adam, it's pouring rain, and your suit will get ruined. Plus, we're already running late for the meeting." "I don't care about the suit or being late," Adam replied firmly. "That woman and her baby need help now." Adam stepped out into the downpour and approached the woman. "Can I help you?" "You can't stay out here in this rain with your baby. Do you have anywhere to go? A home?" he asked gently. The woman, startled by the unexpected kindness, shook her head. "No, we have nowhere," she said, clutching her baby protectively but offering no further details. Adam, feeling the urgency of the situation, ran back to the car. "Open the glove compartment," he instructed the driver. Inside, he retrieved a set of keys. Returning to the woman, he introduced himself. "My name is Adam. What's your name?" he asked. "Stella," she replied hesitantly, still shielding her baby from the rain. "Stella, this is the key to my father's house. He's staying with me now, so the house is empty. You and your baby can stay there for as long as you need," Adam explained, handing her the keys. "I'm late for a meeting, but my driver will take you there and make sure you're safe." After passing the keys to Stella, Adam returned to the car, drenched from the rain. He turned to the driver. "I'll walk to the meeting from here. Please take Stella and her baby to my father's house. It's just down the road. On the way, stop at the market and buy anything they might need. Food, clothes, diapers, whatever. Make sure they're comfortable." The driver, accustomed to Adam's acts of kindness, nodded without hesitation. "Of course, Mr. Adam. I'll take care of everything." After Adam left, the driver returned to Stella, who was still standing in the rain, clutching her baby. "Come on," he said kindly. "Don't worry, I'll take you to a safe place. Mr. Adam just wants to help you and your daughter." But Stella hesitated, fear evident in her eyes. "I don't know you. I've seen things on TV. I can't just trust people," she said nervously, holding her baby tighter. The driver, understanding her mistrust, spoke calmly. "I understand your fear, but I promise you, Mr. Adam is a kind and genuine person. He just wants to help." To reassure her, he opened his wallet and showed her photos of his own family. "Look, I'm a father too. I've worked with Mr. Adam for years, and he's always been someone who truly cares about others." Reassured by the driver's sincerity and the kindness she had seen in Adam, Stella slowly nodded and allowed herself to trust the stranger who had so selflessly offered to help her and her child. Stella carefully examined the photos and noticed the driver's sincere expression. Though still cautious, she felt this might truly be a chance for safety and shelter. After a brief pause, she finally agreed to go with him. With great care, she got into the car, shielding her daughter from the rain, as the driver ensured they were both comfortable before driving to Adam's father's house. Along the way, they made a stop at a market to buy essentials like food and diapers for the baby. Later that afternoon, after a long and successful meeting, Adam exited the building and found his driver waiting for him. As soon as he got into the car, he asked, "How did it go with Stella and her child? Did they make it safely to my father's house?" The driver nodded. "Yes, Mr. Adam, but I dropped them off at the beginning of the street. It seemed easier to maneuver the car there," he explained. Adam, surprised by the decision, replied with gentle reproach, "You should have dropped them off at the front door, especially in this rain and with a baby." He paused, taking a moment to reflect, and then added, "It's okay. It's been a busy day for all of us. I'll stop by tomorrow to check on them and make sure they have everything they need." As the car moved through the streets, Adam gazed out the window, his thoughts occupied with concern for Stella and her baby. Despite the challenges of the day, he felt reassured that he had made the right choice by helping them. When Adam arrived home, he was greeted by Mrs. Rose, who cared for his father while he was away. She appeared to have unexpected news to share. "Mr. Adam," she began hesitantly, "your father, Mr. Robert, took a copy of the house keys and went there as soon as you left. He said he wanted to spend a few days there because he was feeling better and bored of staying here." Adam was startled. "He went alone? He knows he shouldn't have," he exclaimed, worried about his father's health and safety. Mrs. Rose tried to reassure him. "Yes, he went alone, but he waited until you left because he knew you wouldn't let him go otherwise. He seemed determined and said he felt well enough to stay there for a few days." Adam's concern deepened as he realized the potential complications this could cause. Without hesitation, he asked the driver to take him to the house immediately. As the car sped through the streets, a sense of urgency filled his chest. When Adam arrived at the house, he was alarmed to see the front door open and an ambulance parked outside. His heart raced as he saw paramedics carrying his father out on a stretcher. Overcome with panic, Adam ran inside to understand what had happened. Approaching the paramedics, he introduced himself. "I'm his son. What happened?" One of the medics turned to him and calmly explained, "Your father suffered a stroke. Fortunately, your wife was here and called for help right away. Her quick action saved his life." Adam stood frozen for a moment, overwhelmed by a mix of emotions: relief that his father was alive, immense gratitude that Stella had been there, and a profound scare at what could have happened. Determined to stay by his father's side, he followed the stretcher to the ambulance. As the vehicle sped toward the hospital, Adam turned back toward the house, needing to speak to Stella. Inside, he found Stella holding her daughter. Though shaken from the events of the day, Adam approached her with gratitude and tried to steady his voice. "Stella, I don't even know how to thank you for what you've done. The paramedics thought you were my wife," he said, offering a small, nervous smile to lighten the mood. Stella, sensing the gravity of the situation, replied softly, "There's nothing to thank me for, Mr. Adam. I just did what anyone would do. I was in the right place at the right time." Her calm humility in the face of such a crisis left Adam deeply moved. Adam noticed the purchases Stella had made, just basic necessities. "I see you've only bought the essentials," he said, his tone concerned. "You could have taken more, you know. There's no need to limit yourself." Stella looked at him with a mix of gratitude and hesitation. "I didn't want to take advantage of your kindness. You've already done so much for us," she said softly. There was a moment of silence, and Adam felt a deep connection to Stella. "Stella," he began gently, "I'd really like to know more about you and your daughter. How did you end up in this situation? If you're comfortable, I'd like to hear your story." Stella sighed, glancing at her daughter and then at Adam. It seemed as though she was deciding whether to open up. Finally, she began to speak. "I never knew my mother," she started. "I grew up with my father, but he was more like a stranger to me. He drank too much and hardly noticed I was there. Adam listened intently, sensing the resilience in her voice as she continued. I always wanted to study, to build a better life for myself, but my father wouldn't let me. So I read in secret at night after he went to sleep. It gave me hope, even if it was just a small dream. Her expression darkened as she recalled those days. As time passed, things only got worse. My father drank more and his temper grew harsher. I tried to help him, but it was no use. Then one day, I met someone who seemed perfect, kind and caring. I thought my life was finally changing for the better. She paused, her voice faltering. When I got pregnant, I was scared, but hopeful. I thought I'd finally have a family of my own. But when he found out, he left. He disappeared without a word, and I never saw him again. Adam's concern deepened as he watched Stella struggle to continue. For a while, I managed to hide the pregnancy, but when my father found out, her voice broke, and she hesitated before saying, he was furious. He wouldn't even let me explain. He threw me out of the house with nothing. Adam's voice was heavy with compassion as he asked, how did you manage to survive? I begged for money, Stella said, her voice steady but pained. I lived on the streets, and when my daughter was born, it was the homeless community that helped me the most. I was terrified of everyone and everything, but I had to stay strong for my daughter. Adam looked at Stella, seeing not just her pain, but the incredible strength it had taken to endure everything she had been through. You are so strong, Stella, he said earnestly. Your story, it's one of incredible resilience. Stella smiled faintly, though sadness lingered in her eyes. I had no choice, she replied. Life wasn't kind to me, but I couldn't give up, for her. I would go through it all again if it meant keeping her safe. Her voice choked with emotion as she added, when I saw all your father's books, it felt like heaven. I've always loved to read, but I never had access to so many books before. Adam smiled gently. You can read as much as you like, Stella. Consider them yours too. Before leaving, Adam handed her an envelope. Here's something to help with expenses, he said softly. Stella took the envelope and opened it cautiously. Her eyes widened at the amount of money inside. Adam, this is too much. I can't accept all of this, she stammered, her voice trembling. Please accept it, Adam insisted with an encouraging smile. You need it more than I do. Buy clothes, food, whatever you and your daughter need. Tears welled in Stella's eyes. I don't even know how to thank you. You're giving me more than just help. You're giving me hope. For a moment, they were silent. Then, as if a thought suddenly struck her, Stella asked hesitantly, May I ask, are you married, Adam? A shadow passed over his face as Adam sighed. I was, he said quietly. My wife. She died in an accident just a month after our wedding. That was 3 years ago. Stella covered her mouth with her hand, shocked and saddened by the revelation. I'm so sorry, Adam. I had no idea. He shook his head slightly. It's okay. It was hard, but I've learned to live with it. The pain never completely goes away, but we find ways to move forward. Stella nodded, feeling an unexpected connection to Adam through their shared experiences of loss and struggle. Adam stood, picking up his keys. I need to go now, he said. But please, make yourself at home here, and if you need anything at all, don't hesitate to call me. Thank you, Adam, Stella said sincerely, for everything. He nodded, a faint, bittersweet smile on his lips. Take care, Stella, and remember, you're not alone. With those words, Adam left, leaving Stella sitting in quiet reflection. She felt a mix of gratitude, hope, and a sense of connection she hadn't felt in a long time. For the first time in years, she no longer felt so isolated in the world. As Adam returned home, his mind lingered on Stella's story, her strength, and her gratitude. He resolved to check on her and her daughter the next day. Adam visited his father at the hospital. Though still requiring constant care, his father was in stable condition. Sitting beside the hospital bed, Adam began to tell him about Stella and her daughter. He shared how Stella had saved Mr. Robert by calling the doctor when he fell ill and detailed the hardships she had endured throughout her life. Mr. Robert listened intently, his face showing signs of emotion. "You did a good thing, son," he said in a weak but proud voice. "Stella seems like a brave and extraordinary woman. It's good to see you've grown into a man with such a kind heart. I thank God for giving me the strength to raise you alone." There was a moment of comfortable silence as both father and son reflected on their thoughts. Then, after a pause, Mr. Robert spoke again, his tone thoughtful. "Don't you think it would be better to bring Stella and her baby to live closer to us? They could stay at our house. I would like to have more life around here, and you wouldn't need to travel so far to see them." Adam considered the suggestion. The idea of having Stella and her daughter closer felt right, and the thought of his father having more company at home was appealing. "That's a good idea, Dad," Adam finally said. "I'll talk to Stella about it. I think their presence would bring more joy to our home." Mr. Robert smiled, clearly excited about the prospect. It would be wonderful to have a child in the house. It's always so quiet when you're working. With a new plan forming in his mind, Adam said goodbye to his father, promising to seriously consider the suggestion and discuss it with Stella. He left the hospital feeling hopeful about the possibilities the future might bring for all of them. After a long day working on a major project, Adam, though tired, was determined. He drove to the house where Stella was staying, thinking about how to present the proposal. Upon arriving, he found Stella tidying the living room, while her baby played quietly on the floor. "Stella, I have something important to discuss with you," Adam began, sitting down nearby. Stella looked at him curiously. "What's on your mind, Adam?" He took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts. "My house, it's big, and since my father fell ill, it's been very quiet. He loves reading, and since you enjoy it too, I thought the two of you could keep each other company. Plus, he could help you with your studies, if you're interested." Stella seemed surprised by the suggestion. "You mean, live in your house? My daughter and I?" "Yes," Adam affirmed. "It would be wonderful to have you both there. I think your presence would brighten my dad's days and make him feel less lonely, and you'd have a safe place to stay with access to all the books you could ever want." Stella was silent for a moment, clearly considering the offer. That would be incredible, Adam. I don't know how to thank you. It would be a huge help for me and my daughter, and I'd love the chance to study more." Adam smiled, relieved and happy with her response. "Then it's settled. Let's do this. I truly believe it'll be good for all of us." With a smile of gratitude, Stella accepted the offer and quickly began gathering her and her daughter's belongings. Once they were ready, Adam drove them back to his house. As they stepped inside, Stella looked around in awe. "Wow, Adam, your house is amazing. You're truly a talented architect," she said, admiring the space. Adam smiled modestly. "Thank you, Stella. I hope you and your daughter will feel comfortable here." In the days that followed, Stella and Mr. Robert grew increasingly close. His extensive collection of books became a source of shared enthusiasm, and he delighted in showing her his favorites. One day, Mr. Robert handed Stella an old book with yellowed pages. "This one was a favorite of mine when I was younger. I think you'll enjoy it," he said warmly. Stella accepted the book, flipping through its pages. "It looks fascinating. Thank you for sharing it with me," she replied, her voice filled with gratitude. Noticing the special bond developing between Stella and his father, as well as her dedication to their well-being, Adam made a decision. Stella had begun offering to care for Mr. Robert when Adam was away at work. Seeing her commitment and the positive impact she had on his father's life, Adam decided they no longer needed to rely on a caretaker. Stella's presence had brought new energy and warmth into their home, and for the first time in a long while, Adam felt a renewed sense of hope for the future. Stella cared for Mr. Robert with a unique blend of respect and affection, and her presence, along with her daughters, brought new energy to his life. Mr. Robert deeply appreciated the companionship, and Stella often shared how much she enjoyed her new life. "I really like taking care of your father, Adam," she said one day. "He's been so kind to me and my daughter. It's the least I can do." Adam nodded, his gratitude evident. "You're already part of the family, Stella. My father and I are so thankful to have you and your daughter here with us." As Stella grew more comfortable in Adam's home, he wanted to ensure she had more than just shelter. He wanted her to have financial independence. One day, while they were chatting in the kitchen, Adam brought up the subject. "Stella," Adam began thoughtfully, "I've been thinking, I'd like to pay you a salary. You've done so much for my father and for the house. I think it's important that you have your own income." Stella looked at him, surprised. "Adam, that's not necessary. You're already providing us with a home and everything we need." Adam shook his head. "I know, but it's important to me that you feel independent. I want you to have the freedom to buy what you need for yourself and your daughter, without feeling like you have to ask." Stella's expression softened, a mix of gratitude and emotion in her eyes. "You have no idea how much your words mean to me," she said, her voice trembling. "For so long, my life was controlled by others. Someone always telling me what I could or couldn't do, where I could go, or how I should live. I wasn't able to make my own choices. This freedom you're offering, it's something I hardly dared to dream of anymore." Adam leaned forward, his gaze steady and full of encouragement. "I see your strength, Stella, even if you don't fully see it yourself yet. You're capable of so much more than you imagine, and it's time for you to start exploring that. This isn't just about buying things, it's about you taking control of your life. Independence starts with small steps, and every decision you make will be a building block for your future." Stella sighed deeply, absorbing Adam's words. "I've always been afraid," she admitted. "Afraid of making mistakes, afraid of taking risks. I was conditioned to believe I wasn't capable of making good decisions. But maybe you're right. Maybe this is how I begin to feel free." Adam nodded, encouraging her to continue. "Exactly, Stella. And remember, you're not alone in this. I'll be here to support you, but every decision will ultimately be yours. This is your journey to rediscover who you are, what you love, what you want for your life, and most importantly, what you want for your daughter." Stella smiled faintly, her determination starting to surface. "I want my daughter to see me as an example of strength and independence. I want her to grow up knowing she can make her own choices without fear. Thank you, Adam, for believing in me." Adam smiled, pleased to see her resolve. "Let's get started then," he said. "How about we set some small goals together? We can open a bank account for you, or pick something you've always wanted to buy for yourself and your daughter. Each step will bring you closer to complete independence." From that day forward, Stella began receiving a regular salary from Adam. For the first time in years, she experienced the sense of autonomy that financial independence brings. She could buy clothes for her daughter, pick out books to read, and even save money for the future, all without feeling dependent or needing to ask for help. Over time, the bond between Adam and Stella grew deeper. Adam cherished spending time with Hannah, Stella's daughter, and often took her out for walks. During these outings, Adam would share his passion for architecture, and Stella eagerly absorbed everything he said, finding genuine interest in his work. Stella also dedicated herself to reading the books in Mr. Roberts' collection, immersing herself in the stories and knowledge they held. Slowly but surely, Stella was building a new life, one filled with hope, purpose, and the freedom to dream again. Stella took care of Mr. Robert with a genuine mix of respect and affection, which he deeply appreciated. Her presence, along with her daughters, brought life and warmth into the house. Stella often expressed how much she enjoyed her new life. "I truly enjoy taking care of your father, Adam," she said one day. "He's been so kind to me and my daughter. It's the least I can do to repay your kindness." Adam gave her a grateful nod. "You're already part of the family, Stella. My father and I are so thankful to have you and your daughter here with us." As Stella settled into her life in Adam's home, he wanted to ensure she had more than just shelter. He wanted her to have financial independence. One day, while they were talking in the kitchen, Adam decided to address the topic. "Stella," Adam began carefully, "I've been thinking, I'd like to pay you a salary. You've been amazing, taking care of my father and helping with the house. I think it's important that you have your own income." Stella's eyes widened in surprise. "Adam, that's really not necessary. You've already given us a home and provided everything we need." Adam shook his head, his tone firm but kind. "I know, but it's important to me that you feel free and independent. I want you to be able to buy whatever you need for yourself and your daughter without having to ask anyone." Stella paused, her eyes reflecting a mix of gratitude and emotion. "You have no idea how much your words mean to me," she began, her voice trembling slightly. "For so long, my life was controlled by others. Always someone telling me what I could or couldn't do, where I could go, or how I should live. I wasn't allowed to make my own choices. The freedom you're offering me, it's something I didn't even dare to dream about anymore." Adam leaned forward, meeting her gaze with understanding and encouragement. "I see your strength, Stella. Even if you don't fully see it yet, I believe in you. You're capable of so much more than you imagine. It's time to explore that potential. This isn't just about money, it's about reclaiming control of your life. Independence starts with small steps, and each decision you make is another brick in the path toward your future." Stella sighed, absorbing his words. "I've always been afraid," she admitted. "Afraid of making mistakes, of making choices, because I was taught to think I wasn't capable. Every decision I avoided was just another way to keep myself trapped and dependent. But maybe you're right. Maybe this is how I start to feel truly free." Adam smiled, encouraging her to continue. "Exactly, Stella. And remember, you're not alone in this. I'll support you every step of the way, but the choices will always be yours. Think of this as a chance to rediscover who you are, to explore what you love and what you want for your life, and for your daughter." Stella nodded, determination beginning to show on her face. "I want that. I want my daughter to see me as a strong, independent person. I want her to grow up knowing she can make her own decisions without fear. Adam, thank you for believing in me." Adam's smile widened, pleased to see her newfound resolve. "Let's get started then," he said. "How about we set some small goals? Maybe opening your own bank account, or picking out something you've always wanted to buy for yourself or your daughter. Every step will bring you closer to full independence." From that day forward, Stella began receiving a regular salary from Adam. For the first time in years, she experienced the empowerment of financial independence. She bought new clothes for her daughter, selected books to read, and even started saving money for the future, all without the need to depend on anyone else. As time passed, the relationship between Adam and Stella deepened. Adam grew fond of spending time with Hannah, Stella's daughter, and often took her for walks. During these moments, he shared his passion for architecture with Stella, who listened intently and soaked up every word with genuine interest. Stella also immersed herself in reading the books in Mr. Roberts' collection, finding both comfort and inspiration in them. Slowly but surely, Stella was rebuilding her life, discovering a newfound sense of purpose and freedom. For the first time in a long while, she felt hopeful about the future. Adam felt the connection between him and Stella deepen, and the affection they shared began to evolve into something more profound. Stella, in her heart, realized she was falling in love with Adam, but uncertainty kept her feelings hidden. One day, Adam found himself opening up to his father about his feelings. Sitting on the porch during a quiet sunset, Adam hesitated before confessing, "Dad, I think I'm falling in love with Stella. It's the first time in years I've felt this way, but I don't know what to do." Mr. Robert looked at his son with a knowing smile. "Son, Life is too short to waste on doubts and hesitations. If you feel this way about Stella, you should tell her. You deserve to be happy." Adam pondered his father's words. "Do you really think so? What if she doesn't feel the same?" he asked, his voice tinged with doubt. "You'll never know unless you try," Mr. Robert said gently. "And from what I've seen, the way she looks at you speaks volumes." Encouraged by his father's advice, Adam decided to take the leap. With a mix of nervousness and hope, he thought carefully about how he would approach Stella. He wanted to express his feelings and discover if she felt the same way. That evening, after putting Hannah to bed, Stella sat in the living room, immersed in a book. Adam approached, his heart pounding. Sitting down beside her, he broke the comfortable silence with a soft, hesitant voice. "Stella, can I talk to you about something important?" Stella set her book aside, looking at him attentively. "Of course, Adam. What's on your mind?" Adam took a deep breath, summoning his courage. "I've been feeling something more for you," he began. "More than just friendship. You've brought so much light into my life, into this home. I care about you and Hannah more than I ever thought I could." Stella's heart raced as she listened, surprised and deeply moved. "Adam, I feel something for you too," she admitted, her voice trembling. "You've been so incredible to us." Adam reached for her hand, holding it gently. "Stella, I want to be here for you. Not just as a friend, but as someone who truly cares. I want to be a part of your life and Hannah's. I'd love to care for her, as if she were my own daughter." Tears welled in Stella's eyes as she felt the sincerity in Adam's words. "That means so much to me," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "Hannah and I already see you as part of our family." From that night forward, their relationship blossomed. Stella began attending social and professional events with Adam, stepping into his world with growing confidence. However, not everyone welcomed their relationship warmly. There were whispers and malicious comments, with some referring to Stella dismissively as the beggar Adam brought home. At various gatherings, people stared and whispered, their disapproval evident. But Adam was unfazed by the judgments. He remained by Stella's side, offering her unwavering support and reassurance, which helped her feel increasingly secure and confident in their relationship. At one particular event, an elegant cocktail party at an art gallery, a familiar figure approached them. Mrs. Lillian, a respected presence in Adam's social circle, greeted the couple with a polite smile. "Adam, Stella, it's wonderful to see you here," she said warmly. "I've heard about your relationship, and I want to congratulate you." Stella thanked her politely, though she felt slightly tense under Lillian's scrutinizing gaze. There was something in Lillian's demeanor that made Stella uneasy, though she worked hard to maintain her composure. "It's always refreshing to see new faces at our events," Lillian continued, her piercing eyes fixed on Stella. Though the atmosphere felt slightly strained, Stella remained composed, standing tall, with Adam by her side. She knew this was just one of many challenges she would face in stepping into this new chapter of her life, but, with Adam's support, she felt ready to take them on. "Stella, you have a very unique aura about you," Mrs. Lillian remarked, with a polite smile. "Thank you, Mrs. Lillian," Stella replied graciously. "Before I forget," Lillian said, "I'd like to invite you both to a dinner at my house next week. It would be a pleasure to host you." Adam hesitated briefly, unsure about accepting the invitation. He exchanged a quick glance with Stella, silently seeking her opinion. Though he wasn't particularly excited, he felt it was the polite thing to do. "We would be pleased, Mrs. Lillian. We accept the invitation," Adam said with a cordial smile. Lillian looked satisfied. "Wonderful. I look forward to it. It will be a delightful evening. Until then," she said, excusing herself and moving away. As soon as she left, Adam turned to Stella. "I hope it's okay that I accepted. I felt it would have been rude to decline," he said, sounding slightly unsure. Stella gave him a reassuring nod. "It's fine, Adam. I think it will be an interesting experience," she replied, trying to sound optimistic. The two continued to enjoy the event, though the thought of the dinner lingered in their minds, filling them with a mixture of curiosity and caution. The day of the dinner arrived, and Adam and Stella prepared for the occasion. Upon arriving at Mrs. Lillian's house, they were struck by its sheer beauty and grandeur. It was clear that Lillian's reputation as a renowned architect was well-deserved. Every detail of the home's design reflected careful planning and meticulous execution. The decor blended modern and classical elements seamlessly, creating a visually stunning space. As they stepped inside, Lillian greeted them warmly and invited them to take a seat. Stella, while admiring the interior, couldn't help but notice an underlying sense of emptiness in the house. Despite its beauty, it lacked the warmth and coziness of a lived-in home. The space felt more like a museum than a place of comfort. It became evident to Stella that Lillian, who lived alone in this enormous mansion, might not have the happiness that one would expect in such a luxurious setting. "What a beautiful house, Mrs. Lillian," Stella said, trying to mask her perception of the atmosphere. "Thank you, Stella. I've put a lot of effort into every detail," Lillian replied, her voice filled with pride. As the evening progressed, Lillian's enigmatic gaze remained on Stella. At one point, she began sharing personal details about her past, speaking of hardships and unfairness in her youth. Her words carried a somber tone that left both Adam and Stella puzzled about the purpose of the conversation. Adam, sensing there was more to Lillian's words than she was letting on, decided to ask directly, "Mrs. Lillian, forgive me if I'm mistaken, but I'm a bit confused. Could you explain why you invited us to dinner tonight?" Lillian paused, a heavy sigh escaping her lips, as if she were gathering her courage. Without saying a word, she stood and walked to a nearby cabinet. From inside, she retrieved a photo album and returned to her seat. Opening it, she flipped through its pages before stopping at a particular photo. She turned the album toward Adam and Stella, revealing an old picture of herself from many years ago. In the image, she was visibly pregnant. Adam and Stella stared at the photo, still unable to grasp its full context. Adam finally asked, "Where is the child?" Trying to piece together the story. With tears brimming in her eyes, Lillian looked directly at Stella and softly said, "The child. She's here. It's you, Stella." Both Adam and Stella were stunned by the revelation. Stella glanced at the photo, then at Lillian, struggling to process the magnitude of her words. "I'm your daughter?" Stella asked, her voice trembling with emotion. The revelation was like a bombshell, leaving everyone in a state of shock. Adam, confused and skeptical, voiced his disbelief. This seems impossible. Stella never knew her mother. How can you be certain she's your daughter?" Stella, still reeling from the revelation, alternated her gaze between Adam and Lillian, unable to formulate a response. The thought that the woman sitting across from her could be her mother was incomprehensible. Lillian, her tears now freely falling, began to share her story. "When I was younger, I met Stella's father. He seemed like a good man, despite his struggles with drinking. We were together, and I became pregnant. But after Stella was born, he changed. He became aggressive, and the day we left the hospital, he took her away. He disappeared without a trace." The room was silent as Lillian continued, her voice shaking with emotion. "I tried everything to find her. I hired investigators, spent all my savings, but it was as if they had vanished. There were no leads, no clues that could bring me back to my daughter." Stella, absorbing every word, felt a storm of emotions. Anger at her mother's absence clashed with a growing understanding of Lillian's pain and desperation. "So, the man who raised me, he stole me from you?" Stella asked, her voice quivering under the weight of the revelation. Lillian nodded, her face etched with sorrow. "Yes, Stella. He took away the greatest treasure of my life, and I spent all these years searching for you." The tension in the room was palpable. Stella, still processing the revelation, looked at Lillian and asked, "How can you be so sure I'm your daughter? Why only now?" Lillian's expression softened, relief mingling with pain. When I first saw you with Adam at the event, something stirred inside me. It was a feeling I couldn't ignore. Then, I noticed the mark on your hand. It's identical to the one I have. It was the last thing I remembered of you from that day. Her voice trembled as she continued. After that, I reached out to an investigator I've worked with for years. He dug deeper and found your father. He was living on the streets, a broken man, barely recognizable. The investigator approached him, gained his trust, and coaxed the truth out of him. He confessed everything. How he had taken you from me, kept you hidden, never sent you to school, and lived in fear of being found. He even avoided creating official documents for you. Stella listened in stunned silence, each detail lifting the veil on a life she never knew existed. He lived in fear, and he kept me in that shadow with him, Stella murmured, piecing together her past. Adam, glancing between Stella and Lillian, spoke softly. It's an incredible story. Hard to believe, honestly. Stella's voice broke as she said, I never imagined anything like this could happen to me. It's overwhelming. Lillian, her eyes still filled with tears, replied, I know, my dear. It's a shock for all of us. She hesitated before adding, despite everything he did, I arranged for your father to be placed in a care facility. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia and will spend the rest of his life there. Adam, surprised, asked, You did that? Even after everything he did to you and to Stella? Lillian sighed deeply. Yes, despite it all, he's a sick man. He deserves compassion. I spent so many years angry at him. But now, having you here in front of me, Stella, the happiness I feel outweighs everything else. Stella looked at Lillian, her feelings a mixture of gratitude and confusion. Thank you for that, Lillian. I'm still trying to make sense of everything, but I appreciate that you showed him kindness, despite everything. He's still my father. Following this deeply emotional conversation, Stella's life began to change in profound ways. She started visiting Lillian's house regularly, and the two worked to build a relationship that had been lost for so many years. Both mother and daughter were determined to bridge the gap created by the past, finding strength in their newfound connection. During one of Stella's frequent visits to Lillian's house, she began to feel the joy of a fresh start. In a moment of heartfelt conversation on the porch, as they sipped tea, Lillian expressed her hopes for Stella's future. You've always been interested in studying more, haven't you, Stella? Lillian asked warmly. Stella, her eyes lighting up with hope, replied, Yes, I've always dreamed of studying architecture, but I never had the opportunity. Lillian smiled, her voice filled with determination. Well, I think it's time to make that dream come true. I want you to enroll in the best architecture school in the country. I'll take care of everything. Stella was stunned, unable to speak for a moment. Tears welled up in her eyes as she finally said, You would do that for me? I don't even know how to thank you. Reaching across the table to hold Stella's hand, Lillian said gently, After everything we've missed out on, it's the least I can do. And there's more. I'm building a room for Hannah here at the house. I want to be there for every moment of her growth, something I sadly missed with you. Overcome with emotion, Stella let her tears flow freely. That means so much to me, Lillian. Hannah will love having a grandmother like you. In one of their many emotional conversations, as Hannah played in the garden, Lillian shared a deeply personal thought. My biggest dream, after finding you, is to one day hear you call me mother. But I know this is all very new, and I want you to take your time. I'll do whatever it takes to earn that title. Stella, touched by Lillian's words, responded sincerely, You're already doing so much, Lillian. I appreciate every gesture. I'm sure we'll become even closer with time. As the months passed, their bond naturally grew stronger. Stella visited Lillian regularly, and Hannah adored spending time with her grandmother. The house, once cold and lonely, was now filled with laughter and warmth. It became a place of joy, creating the family atmosphere that both Lillian and Stella had longed for. Years went by, and Stella worked diligently on her architecture studies. When her graduation day finally arrived, it marked a major milestone in her journey. The ceremony was filled with family, friends, and teachers who had supported her along the way. As Stella walked down the aisle toward the stage, a mix of pride and gratitude filled her heart. Her eyes scanned the crowd, searching for three very important people: her husband, who had been her unwavering source of support; her father-in-law, who had become a steady and loving presence in her life; and of course, Lillian, her biggest supporter and inspiration. As she stepped onto the stage, Stella paused to take a deep breath before beginning her speech. "Today, I stand here not just because of my own efforts, but because of the invaluable support of some very special people," she began, her voice trembling with emotion. "To my husband, who has always stood by my side, encouraging me to chase my dreams. To my father-in-law, who welcomed me as a daughter and gave me strength during difficult times." Her eyes then found Lillian in the audience. With a brief pause, she continued, her voice breaking slightly. "And to my dear mother, Lillian. Mom, you gave me more than just the chance to study. You gave me a home, love, and the family I always dreamed of." Lillian, overwhelmed with emotion, couldn't hold back her tears. Hearing Stella call her mom touched her deeply. She covered her face with her hands, overcome with gratitude and joy. When Stella finished her speech, the audience erupted in applause. Lillian, still wiping tears from her cheeks, watched her daughter with immense pride. All the pain, the years of searching, and the heartbreak had led to this moment. A moment of pure happiness and connection. After the ceremony, Lillian found a quiet moment with Stella, away from the crowd. Tears shimmered in her eyes as she spoke, her voice thick with emotion. "My dear daughter, for so many years, my heart felt incomplete. A vital part of me was missing. But I always believed, deep down, that this day would come. The day I'd see you grow into the incredible woman you are today." Stella, equally emotional, clutched her mother's hands tightly between her own, feeling the depth of Lillian's love and pride. It was a moment of healing, gratitude, and the beginning of a new chapter for their family. Lillian continued, her voice filled with emotion. "When you were taken from me, a heavy silence overtook my life. I fought every single day, not just to find you, but to keep the hope of seeing you again alive. And now, today, seeing you as a graduate, so strong, so radiant, that hope has finally become a reality." There was a gentleness in her tone as she reflected on the years they had been separated. "For so long, I imagined what it would feel like to hold you again, to touch your face, to laugh and cry together. I missed so many moments, so many milestones a mother should share with her daughter. But now, as I look at you, I know that every tear I shed, every prayer I whispered, was worth it. You are my miracle, Stella." Moved by the depth of her mother's words, Stella whispered, "Mom, I missed you every single day, even without knowing who you were. There was always an emptiness in me, a space nothing else could fill, until today." Lillian nodded, her tears mirroring Stella's. "I know, my daughter, but no matter the years we've lost, we have a second chance now. We will make new memories together. I will be here for every step you take, for every moment that matters." The two embraced tightly, their hug bridging the years of distance and pain, solidifying the bond they had yearned for all their lives. "You've completed me in ways I never imagined possible," Lillian whispered. Stella, looking up at her mother, replied with heartfelt emotion, "Mom, you've shown me what family and love truly mean. I am so grateful for you and for this chance we've been given." As they left the graduation ceremony hand in hand, both felt a renewed sense of purpose and hope. Their story had taken them through immense struggles, but it had brought them to a place of love, forgiveness, and healing. Together, they were ready to face the future with strength and joy, knowing their bond would only grow deeper. Their journey was a testament to the unbreakable power of maternal love and the resilience it carries, showing that no matter what life throws at them, a mother never gives up on her child. If you enjoyed this heartfelt tale, please take a moment to show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel. Your encouragement inspires us to continue sharing moving stories like this one. Don't forget to check out the next incredible story waiting for you on your screen. We're sure it will captivate you just as much. Thank you for being part of our community, and we'll see you again soon.